Just completing all four actually. I've finished the game. I've got about 70 hours in all four heroes, and this was my last playthrough. I'm level 22, and you'll be about about this level 21, 22 by the end of the first playthrough. By the second playthrough, about 32. The XP slows down. It'll take you 3 playthroughs to cap out at level 40. Excuse me. Now, just to say, I'll talk about skills first, and I think in terms of Layla, her short cooldown, I put no points in, and I'll talk about that in a minute. And these two, I'm not investing in as a tree at all. I'm really putting all of my effort into my ultimate skill. On the other characters, I don't do this. I do their main skill here, their short cooldown first. All 3 of them are good. But this one, the umbrella interferes with you shooting. It's lackluster. It doesn't work for vamps. They will melee you through it. So it's just not a great short cooldown. But let me say there's a couple of things that make up for it, and I'll talk about that in a second. On all heroes, I would say that the first things you want to do, these unlock just by playing through. The first ones you want to do is ammo, these two here. Even before health. Health's not a big issue in Redfall. They make the game easier in that content. Burial point, it starts to heat up. I'm playing on midnight at the moment, which is sort of hard. There's not a huge upgrade to that, but there is enough to get when the vamps come for you, and the special vamps and the rooks, they can take you out a lot harder on that one. And then on the clips I'm doing on my third playthrough, which is sort of the nightmare difficulty that you unlock after one playthrough. Just to understand here that you want to get your ammo in, I think the best run and gun, sort of just base weapon that you want to have on all the time is your assault rifle, and the sniper is good at certain points to pick off, and then I'll change it. I'll do that from a distance and then change to my assault rifle, and I'll talk about weapons in a minute. But you want to get your ammo up, and by all means just put, these are 1 pointers just to do up early game. You want to put, you'll have to pick up whatever weapon is best, and a later game, once the rooks start to spawn, that's the main way to get your legendary weapons, which you can get quite a few, even though they'll drop pretty regularly, so it's not a big issue, but you want to be able to swap between whatever your sort of best weapon is at the time. So getting back to skills, on all of the heroes, these are the same, they don't change, but as soon as you hit level 7, and you'll have to spend some 1 pointers elsewhere, up there, as you'll see, is a great 1 pointer I'll talk about in a second, but the reason you want to get to here at level 7 and level 12 here, you'll be 12 by the time you hit the Hollow Man in the first playthrough, and you want as much ammo on your stake gun as you can. These 2 weapons, the stake gun and the UV beam, are absolutely essential for the game to beat the harder content, the rooks, the special vamps. The stake gun is the best bossing weapon. The UV gun won't help you on the bossing, but it is essential for just freezing vamps and then meleeing the death, and then freezing vamps and stake gunning the special vamps to death and the rooks. I'll talk a bit about that in a minute. This is co-op. This one is essential for her because you're not using, these are on timers, they just come off timer. But this uses the blue residue, the psychic residue I think it's called, that fills up by killing vamps, picking it up, and then looking for little bottles that you've got to actually shoot the bottle to run over that humans leave behind sometimes. And so this one is good that they compensate that when Layla picks up an orb of psychic residue, she gains a bonus amount of residue, and because you're using this as your main oh crap for the hard content, and the guns will cover the other content pretty easily, humans and just normal vamps, your UV will nuke them and your melee, that you want to keep this for rooks and special vamps, or an oh crap moment where you really get jumped by a lot of somethings, and he'll go around and really does a lot of nuking. He'll take a rook down to 50%, but it's not the actual 50% and the damage that I use this guy for, and that'll be my next skills on my second playthrough to put that out. It's simply that he's tanking for me. The rook isn't charging me, and then I've got my UV gun on. That's how you kill the rooks, and then as soon as he's frozen, 1 shot to the crit spot on the heads, and he's down, and I pick up my legendary. And he'll do some boss damage for you too, which is a bonus because the other skills for the other characters don't do a lot of boss damage. So I would be putting 1 point into that pretty early, and also Layla takes less damage from Death Mist. It's not too bad. You can sometimes get nuked by electricity going in to turn on a safe house or something like that, and it can take you out if you're unaware of it, or they blow up something like a car that's near you or something like that. It's 1 point. These ones I'm not really concerned about. Bonus amount of health from eating food. When I need health, I'm burning health pack. I'm not worried about scavenging and getting that last little bit out of a food somewhere. So they're the only two that I do there, and I wouldn't do that one as well for 1 point. I want to invest in this stuff. So that's the skills I would go for. And you can see here the enemies near the point teleports are staggered. That means that they're not hitting you and they're stunned for a second, and you've got your beams on them or your assault rifle to take them out. He attacks more often. Jason lasts longer, of course. Jason attacks range is increased, so he'll spread amongst more enemies, though that doesn't make a big difference for the Rook or a special Vamp. It's just when he's dotting between enemies, but it might help when you get jumped by, 4 or something Vamps. Jason attacks deals more damage. Jason can revive Layla. Now this one's not really essential because he doesn't last too long, and whatever you are killing is usually dead by the time he disappears. You usually don't die in the time when he's out. It's when he's not out. So, but you have to do that to unlock this one, which will be my next 3 points. The last tier is 3. So first point's 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, and then that will be 3. And I've got 2 points now, so I'm just waiting for one more point that I'll get for my second playthrough. As I said, the umbrella, I've tried it. I actually respect for this because I did try this, and it really was not useful. Having to not be able to shoot, I want to be able to throw down like Dev can throw an arc javelin down and be pew-pewing while they're staggered and it's killing them too. This I just have to wait around, and the damage from it is no more than my guns. So I can't see the benefit of that. That is not bad for 1 point, just getting up to a roof to get through a window, or get over a roof to get over some red mist. It's like translocate that Dev has. But to use it offensively and to jump up in the air to get extra damage is just useless, and actually you die more often. My son tried playing this character solo and said I did this out and jumped up in the air and I was dead midair. I mean, there's no cover, so just play your cover and do the game properly. I want to talk a bit about Loadout. Now, these two guns, I've only got blues on this guy. It's just random. I've got, legendary on this, plenty of them on one character. On Dev, they dropped all the time. On this guy, I keep getting pistols and shotguns, which I'm not really using. I'll explain in a second. But you've got to have a UV gun. But the blues are even enough. And you'll get those pretty often. It is unusual to have purples by this stage, but the RNG of the game is what it is. But the best weapons are the assault rifles in the game, and that's the cast special and the perfectly normal. Now the perfectly normal really burns through ammo, but it's a great bossing weapon. It does an extra 30% damage. So these are my 2 bossing weapons, and nuking stuff. That's my run and gun sort of stuff, because you don't have to get headshots with it, though headshots will do a bit more damage. You'll see red for crits, but really it just pew-pews anything with that 30% damage. So when there's a lot of humans around, that's what I'm taking them out with. The Vamps, I'm using my UV ray and meleeing them. That's why you got to have them on. And because you can't pause the game, you can't pause like most games, change your weapons to whatever you're killing. You got to have these 2 on you all the time for when you get jumped by a special Vamp or something like that. Now with a Rook or special vampires, which are really can nuke you, and I'll give a couple of tips for that. Obviously when the Rook comes out, he doesn't attack straight away. Wait till he starts to charge and then put Jason out, and he'll go for Jason rather than you. And then you'll be nuking him with your beam, and then when he freezes, you want to one-shot him in his crit spot in his head, and that takes care of him, even on midnight difficulty, which is hard. You might have to do a second one there. You can even swap to that to finish him off, and then meleeing him if it's not enough with the weapon you've got. If it's a little bit lower than your level, they do start to do a little bit less damage if they're a few levels below you. But even that at 18, which is 4 levels below me, is still pew-pewing. Obviously, any remnant that's going to give you, the most health is really what you want to get. Even, you can look at what the things underneath are as well. according to the situation, but it's your health pool and not dying quickly. That's really crucial for those. And as you kill the bosses, we're going to get one more on the last boss I'm about to kill in the game from doing these. You can choose whatever's best there. Critical health, unaware, which is very rare. I'm going to do the ultimate power actually, because my boyfriend is not going to help you on bossing. But that's the case. Anyway, so we've got our weapons are always going to be these. The perfectly normal burns through ammo, but you've got plenty of money to fill up in a safe house for 2k. And you've got, what else have we got here? We've got our cast special is really good because it's ammo efficient, but it's also 75% headshot damage. It's a bit like a mini sniper, mid-range mini sniper, like a DMR weapon, and it really is powerful if you do headshots. If you're good at headshots, by all means do that, but I'm just going to do that one there for now. Now I'm not going to show you, but if there's say this was a house, and sometimes most places give you a way to get in that doesn't require the lockpick by getting on a roof or whatever. So you've got your translocate to get up onto a roof. That's really just, well, it's a lift, but I don't use it offensively, and it bounces you around. The umbrella, honestly, I don't use. I've tried it and died too many times, and I can't shoot. I can't do anything. So you've got a one click to get it up, and then one click to do that, and I can take down something quicker with my assault rifle and my other two combinations here. So I'm heading towards the last boss here just to show you some gameplay real quick. But the UV gun is, I'll find some vamps. I know they're usually over here. Oh, there's a vamp. Yeah, you want to take always out, not the vamp, but the other stuff that's going to kill you at range, because the vamps are not too much trouble. If you get your UV gun out, you nuke them. Now they usually are trouble, but the UV gun is your bread and butter for vamps. Now only normal vamps. If it is a special vamp, you'll have to do UV gun and then quickly swap to your main weapon and hit their crit spot, their head. Otherwise you'll have to freeze them, melee them, freeze them, melee them, you're going to be dead in that time. So the special vamps and rooks, you'll have to change to your guns. Now this one's a very slow weapon. So you want to always make sure it's got 3 in the barrel. And the same before you go into any battle, make sure that your UV gun is loaded with your 30 ammo in the barrel, so that when you get jumped by the vamps, you're all good. Now there's no special vamps or rooks here, but there are quite a few human enemies from memory and some really great weapon, perfectly normal for running the game. And this is on midnight. We'll throw Jason out, which I'd only do you can't get hurt while he's doing his animation. He's just powering around killing stuff. Something's behind me, killing me. What is it? And he'll clear an area, look at him go. And that's not fully, Oh, we've got a ramp to him, that's what's doing it. So we go out, you could just kill him with this. This is actually a good, even normal vamp weapon, the perfectly normal, and stake him. Remember, you can't stake with the pistols or the sniper rifles. It's got to be, something with a stake on the front. Use your cover for these guys. It's going to burn some. I'm being a bit reckless here. I wouldn't normally just throw him out like that. I can hear something over here. Hiding. At midnight, they really nuke you with one shot. Shooting me over here. Oh, you. Try to go for the heads if you can. But you can see on midnight, it really does nuke you. Always fill up on, there's a lot of guys bunched up here for the last door. There should be a vamp down here, I think. Always keep lockpicks on you. They're worth the investment. Headshot. Use your light. These guys blow up when you stay at range. You can also, those guys, if they're running at you, just use your UV ray. Same deal again, and melee them. They won't explode when you melee them, but it will stop them exploding. And here we are at the last boss. Anyway, that's enough for you to see a bit of gameplay. But you got your lift, which has to be placed, so you have to actually point where you want it to get up on roofs. I don't ever use that. And you got your boyfriend, which you do pick up psychic energy pretty quickly. Like, what do I do? It takes a long time on the other characters. Let's see if this fills us up. No. But killing the vamps drops that. And I only keep that for the, oh crap, Rooks and so forth. Have a good day. Hopefully that helps you. Enjoy Layla. I like her voice acting. She's pretty funny at times. And she can beat the game. As I've said, I've had no problem speeding with her. I have to play a bit more carefully. And I haven't got the short cooldown, but if I use cover and stuff, I can get through the game pretty easy. And she's a lot of fun. Have fun.